Hi, my name's Jason Williams, and this video is about a engine oil flush. Being quite required, I'll show this as I go because I've just come back from a 3-month trip throughout Australia, and I've got to talk to you about why this is important now, and just the variation of what's happened with the engine. But I'll tell you all the details in a minute, but first I've got to run this for 5 minutes, and then I'll tip this in and run it 5 minutes, switch it off, tip this in, start it again, run it for 10 minutes, stop it, drop the oil, take off the oil filter, change the oil filter obviously, and then proceed to, once it's drained out thoroughly, put the bung back in and fill it back up. And I'll show you that as I go. I'll show you that now, and then I've got to talk about what's happened with the engine and some changes that have come about. Alright, I shall start this and do this. Alright, with that been running for 5 minutes, I try to always use Penrite stuff, but with that been running for 5 minutes, I will now add the oil flush in. And this is you add it at the rate of one of these every 7.5 litres of oil. This being 10 litre oil capacity, I'll use one of these and half of another one. And you can do this as often as you like. I haven't done it for a long time, so it's well in need. And when I do this, I will also when I do this, I'll also be able to when I've done this, I'll also be able to I'll talk to you about what's happened with this engine recently after that during that big trip, because I had a pretty major breakdown, but wasn't my fault, obviously. Well, that's my story. That's about almost half one of those. That's about it. And with that in there now, obviously you don't do this while the engine's red hot. That would be a disaster. But I'll now start this and idle it for 10 minutes. And while it's idling, I'll sit down and have a chat with you about what's going on next. Alright, with that now idling away, warming up, it's got to do its 10 minutes, I'll talk to you about the fact that normally you would see me, because it was an old engine, putting additives in. I would mix Moris. Well, I will only be using 1540 from now on, because when I was on my trip, I'll tell you quickly, I was in South Australia on the Unadilla track. I had the harmonic balancer begin to fail, and so I limped it out of there quickly, got it towed, got the harmonic balancer replaced by, I can't say who it was. They forgot to put the thrush washer back on. When they put the harmonic balancer back on and put the main bolt through the front of it, they forgot the thrush washer, which is a very critical part. And sure enough, a few hundred k's later, it started leaking oil out the front and was wobbling again. I thought, oh, what's going on? I should do this myself. I should have done it myself, but I was on holidays. I wasn't going to do that at all. And I got it to a place in Hawker in South Australia at Chris Mechanical. They were great guys. And sure enough, when we pulled off they pulled off the harmonic balancer, the front of the crankshaft was destroyed. So I had to get a new crankshaft and a whole new bottom end, including main carrier bearings and big ends bearings. or shells, whatever you want to call it. And so they had a lot of slop in it. They were, you know, looking pretty sad. Done 600,000 Ks, so you'd expect that. And so we changed a whole lot. I was there through part of it, and brand new, genuine crank, genuine everything. Redid the entire bottom end. It was, you know, over $7,000, so it was a fairly big job. And I was there, and the guy said, "Look, you might need to give this an oil flush." And we looked in the inside, because the engine was out, upside down, sump off, and I looked in the engine block, and there was just a very slight amount of sludge on it. So I'm like, oh, when I get this home, I'm going to give it engine oil flush, and happy days. So that's what I'm doing right now, giving it an engine oil flush, because it was a bummer that I had to do it. You know, everything worked out in the end, and it was all good in the end, so that's why I can't say who messed up the job. But either way, it all worked out, and it was fine. So, you know, I don't hold anything against them anymore. And it was fine. So I guess now I'm almost at, oh no, I've still got a few minutes. Then, because I'll drop the oil, take the oil filter off, basically giving it an oil change. It's 5,000 Ks before its next service, so this will be fine. This is good. It's good to give it an engine oil change, and so no more additives in the oil, because it's got a brand new bottom end. Everything's very tight. Everything's perfect. Like, the only reason I was putting additives in because of the amount of Ks it's done, because it's the bottom end is where you lose your oil pressure. So that should be good now. Well, of course it will be. I know it is. I saw it all going together. I was pretty wrapped. I was excited. I wanted to do it, but I had and I've still got a very bad back. I wanted to do it, but someone else was doing it, so happy days. Yay for me. All right, I'll get back now. I'll turn the camera off, and I'll video. I'll drop the oil, and guess you'll see how. I mean, that's all pretty basic, dropping the oil, but you get the gist of it. It's done a lot of work, done heaps of work, 600,000 or just over 600,000 Ks, and now I'm you know, it's got a brand new bottom end in it. So from here, my video's all going to be a lot of upkeep and maintenance on this, just to, like, getting everything perfect. You know, I've done the front end. You might have seen that. Now the bottom end's done. I'm doing flush, and then as the videos develop, because I don't know where I'm going to start and how long I'm going to wait for parts, but we'll see what happens. So let's dump that oil. Oh, with a 40mm spread. I mean, I don't know how much. I've done oil flushes before, but I've never really paid much attention. As to the quality of the oil, and that's it, dropped. Take off the top so it flushes out properly. And as you see, I'm pretty pedantic about always putting a new sump plug washer on the sump plug every time I change oil, which might be a bit much, but nah, it works. Alright, with the sump plug in, ready to fill it up with oil, and I am so glad to be putting oil back in this without additives. This is so good. Knowing that the bottom end is all fresh and brand new, I don't have to worry about additives. I guess all I've got to, do now is yeah, I just put oil in. It's just 1540. No more additives, so it's obviously a lot cheaper now, and it's quieter. Don't have to listen to the bottom end rattling away. I think it's was going for a long time, but anyway, that was sort of a forced rebuild of the bottom end. That what happened, and yeah, I'm very glad to be using straight 1540 again. Alright, being that I would have spilt a bit of oil around, I'll now get in and give it a bit of a degrease around, mainly around the filter and the filling point. That way keep everything nice and clean. Well, thank you very much for watching this little video. Hope this helps, gives you a bit of insight into cleaning the engine oil. I mean, it's great now. I can, pull out the dipstick after an engine oil change and the oil's clear. That's great. But yes, thank you very much for watching this video, and I'll aspire to see you in the next one, which is no doubt heaps of maintenance, like lots of little tidy ups in this mechanically. All right, cheers, thank you.